Why do women start to feel distant from their husbands as they age? A Buddhist perspective on love, aging, and emotional connection. As we move through the years, life shifts in ways we never expected. What once felt warm and safe can sometimes grow distant and unfamiliar. The love that once ignited our hearts may begin to feel more like an ember, flickering rather than burning. For many women, as they step into the later years of life, something subtle but profound begins to happen in their marriage. A slow, quiet detachment emerges, one not born from anger or bitterness, but from exhaustion, reflection, and sometimes painful clarity. The Buddha taught that attachment is the root of suffering. Yet love, when nourished correctly, is one of the highest forms of spiritual practice. So why do so many women, after decades of marriage, begin to feel a growing distance from their husbands? The reasons are not always what we assume. Today we will explore these questions through the lens of Buddhist wisdom, daily life reality, and the path to understanding before it's too late. 1. The emotional burden becomes too heavy. In many marriages, women unconsciously take on the role of the emotional caretaker. They remember birthdays, manage social connections, coordinate family responsibilities, and bear the weight of making sure everyone around them feels supported. For years, sometimes decades, this happens without question. It is simply the way things are. But over time, something shifts. A woman begins to realize that she has spent a lifetime tending to others while her own emotional needs have been left unacknowledged. And here's the painful truth. Most men don't even realize this is happening. The Buddha taught that balance is key to peace. When one person in a relationship carries the full emotional weight, while the other simply exists within it, suffering arises. Over time, this silent exhaustion can turn into quiet resentment, creating an invisible but powerful wall between partners. She wakes up one morning and feels an emptiness she can't quite name. The constant checklists, the unspoken responsibilities, the subtle but exhausting expectation that she must always be the one to keep the family emotionally intact. It has all drained her. There was a time she did it out of love, out of instinct. But now she wonders if love should feel like this. If love should be this one-sided. She watches her husband move through his day, seemingly oblivious to the emotional labor she carries. It's not that he doesn't care, at least not intentionally. He simply doesn't see it. And that's the part that stings the most. Not the work itself, but the invisibility of it all. She starts to wonder, if I stopped doing all of this, would he even notice? Would he even care? The resentment doesn't arrive in a single dramatic moment. It sneaks in through the small, everyday instances, the unacknowledged efforts, the assumption that she will always be the one to remember, to plan, to carry the weight. It grows heavier, and one day, she stops fighting it. She simply grows distant. What can be done? Awareness is the first step. A man must ask himself, have I truly seen my wife? Not just as a partner, but as a person? Have I shared the emotional burden, or have I allowed her to carry it alone? A woman must ask herself, have I spoken my truth, or have I swallowed my feelings for the sake of keeping peace? There must be a shift from expectation to appreciation. A husband must not assume his wife will carry these burdens simply because she always has. He must learn to ask, what can I take off your plate? What do you need from me? He must recognize that love is not just about presence, it's about participation. It's about seeing her, truly seeing her, in all the ways she has spent a lifetime seeing him. Balance must be restored for love to thrive. A woman who feels valued, who feels heard, will continue to give, not out of duty, but out of genuine affection. But a woman who feels unseen will eventually retreat into herself. And once she does, it is a long road back. The Buddha's teachings remind us that love must be nourished, not assumed. That awareness, mindfulness, and gratitude are the cornerstones of connection, and that without them, even the strongest bonds can begin to fray. 2. A lack of meaningful communication. In the beginning, conversations feel effortless. Words flow naturally, filled with curiosity and genuine interest. Tell me about your dreams. What excites you? What do you think about the world? These questions spark connection, create depth, and lay the foundation for emotional intimacy. But as time passes, many couples stop asking these questions. conversations become transactional. Did you pay the bill? What's for dinner? Did you walk the dog? Dialogue turns into a series of routine exchanges rather than meaningful moments of connection. A woman craves emotional intimacy just as much as she craves companionship. She longs to be seen, to be heard, to be understood. But when communication dwindles to nothing more than discussions about groceries, bills, and logistics, she may begin to feel invisible. She might sit across the dinner table speaking about something that deeply matters to her, only to be met with a distracted nod or a half-hearted response. The silence that follows is deafening. She is there, but she is alone. The Buddhist practice of right speech teaches us that words are powerful. They have the ability to heal or to harm, to build bridges or to create distance. A marriage without deep, meaningful conversations is like a tree without water. Slowly, inevitably, it withers. She remembers a time when they spoke about everything, their fears, their hopes, their crazy ideas for the future. She remembers how he used to look at her, like she was the most fascinating person in the world. Now when she speaks, she feels like background noise, and so she begins to withdraw. Not all at once, but gradually. She stops sharing her inner world, stops trying to initiate conversations that no longer lead anywhere. She speaks less, not because she has nothing to say, but because she has learned that no one is truly listening. And in that silence, something essential fades. How can this change? Create space for true presence. Put down the phone. Turn off the television. Look into each other's eyes. Sit together, even in silence, and simply exist in each other's presence. Ask real questions. How was your day? Is not enough. Dive deeper. What made you smile today? What have you been thinking about lately? These are the kinds of questions that nourish love, that keep the roots of a relationship strong. Listening is not simply about hearing words. It is about being fully present, about absorbing the emotion behind those words, about responding with care and genuine interest. Right speech also reminds us that silence can be just as powerful as words. Sometimes a gentle touch on the hand, a knowing glance, or a warm embrace speaks louder than any sentence ever could. If a man wants to keep his wife emotionally close, he must remember this. She is not asking for grand gestures. She is not looking for extravagant gifts or poetic declarations. She simply wants to feel heard, valued, and understood. She wants to know that after all these years, she still matters. Love is not built in grand, sweeping moments. It is built in the quiet, everyday acts of presence. The way you listen, the way you respond, the way you show her in small but significant ways that she is still the person you choose every single day. 3. The never-ending burden of housework. Even in modern times, studies show that women still do the majority of household work, even after retirement. But this issue extends far beyond the simple acts of cleaning and cooking. It is the mental load, the invisible, ceaseless responsibility of making sure everything runs smoothly. From managing the children's schedules to remembering doctor's appointments to planning meals, it is a weight that never fully lifts. Even when the children have grown and retirement should bring relief, the burden remains. The Buddha taught about dukkha, the suffering caused by imbalance. When one person in a marriage is always on duty while the other assumes it is not their role, this imbalance can lead to resentment. A woman who has spent a lifetime managing a household may one day wake up and wonder, why is it still all on me? She doesn't want to nag, but she's tired. Tired of the unspoken expectation that she will be the one to notice what needs to be done. The one who carries the household in ways that no one else acknowledges. And worse, she doesn't even need perfection. She just needs effort. She needs to know she is not alone in this endless task of keeping life moving forward. The small daily disappointments, his socks left on the floor, the dishes still in the sink, the assumption that she will take care of things because she always does, start to accumulate like grains of sand. Over time, those grains form a wall, and when she finally stops caring enough to say anything, that wall becomes an emotional barrier between them. How can this be resolved? Conscious effort. Partnership in a marriage does not expire after decades. It should evolve. A husband must shift from passivity to participation, From assuming things are taken care of to actively stepping in and asking, "What can I do to help lighten your load today?" Small acts of shared responsibility become profound acts of love. Washing the dishes isn't just about keeping the kitchen clean. It's about showing your partner that you see her, that her exhaustion matters, that she is not alone. And for women, there is a lesson in letting go, in not holding on to resentment until it builds into silence. Speak up, ask for help, and expect participation. Love is not built on sacrifice alone. It flourishes in shared effort, in mutual respect, and in the acknowledgement that no one should have to carry the weight of a household alone. 4. She outgrows the relationship, but he doesn't. In the beginning, their lives were intertwined. They built a home together, raised children, navigated challenges, and celebrated milestones. But as the years pass, something shifts. A woman, having spent so much of her life caring for others, begins to look inward. She wants to explore, to learn, to stretch beyond the roles she has played for so long. She seeks growth, not just for herself, but for them both. Yet her husband remains unchanged. He is content with routine, uninterested in venturing beyond the familiar. He sees no reason to change, no urgency to explore new ideas or experiences. The same conversations, the same daily patterns, the same lack of curiosity about the world. It all begins to feel suffocating. In Buddhism, life is anicca, impermanence. Everything changes, whether we acknowledge it or not. A relationship that does not evolve is like a river that stops flowing. It becomes stagnant, lifeless, devoid of movement. She tries at first. She encourages new activities, invites him to travel, shares books and ideas. But if he resists, if he dismisses her yearning as trivial or unnecessary, she will inevitably turn inward. She stops asking. She does not leave physically, but emotionally, she begins to drift away. The question becomes, are we growing together, or are we simply existing side by side? It is a slow unraveling, not a dramatic exit, not an explosive argument, just a quiet withdrawal, a silent acknowledgement that the love that once felt boundless has now become something smaller, something less alive. She still loves him, perhaps, but love without growth, without shared curiosity, without the willingness to evolve, begins to feel like obligation rather than connection. What can be done? A marriage must be a journey, not a destination. Growth is not something that happens in isolation. It must be nurtured together. A husband must ask himself, am I growing with her, or am I holding her back? A wife must ask, have I voiced my needs clearly, or have I quietly resigned myself to loneliness? Compromise, curiosity, and shared adventure. These are the foundations of lasting love. A relationship that embraces change, that allows both partners to explore new parts of themselves, will continue to thrive. But one that resists growth, that clings stubbornly to routine, will eventually crumble under the weight of its own stagnation. If a woman feels she is outgrowing her marriage, she will eventually detach, not in anger, but in quiet self-preservation. And when that happens, rekindling what was lost becomes far more difficult. The Buddha reminds us, change is inevitable. Growth is a choice. 5. The loss of emotional and physical intimacy. Love is not just about presence. It is about feeling seen. When a woman no longer feels desired, no longer feels that spark, she may begin to emotionally withdraw. The Buddha spoke of the importance of metta, loving kindness, not just in words but in action. Intimacy is more than physical closeness. It is about connection, a loving glance, a small touch, a heartfelt conversation. These are the things that build and sustain love. When these disappear, a woman does not immediately walk away, but she begins to fade emotionally. She might still cook dinner, still sit beside her husband on the couch, still sleep in the same bed, but inside she is elsewhere. Husbands, ask yourselves, when was the last time you truly saw your wife? Not just as a mother, a homemaker, or a companion, but as a woman. Have you held her hand, touched her face, or reminded her that she is still beautiful? When was the last time you looked at her the way you did when you first fell in love? When intimacy fades, love does not disappear in one dramatic moment. It fades in the small, unnoticed ones. The unspoken words, The absent gestures, the nights spent side by side but miles apart emotionally. What can be done? Reignite connection with intention. Touch her without expectation. Speak to her with warmth, not routine. Surprise her, not with grand gestures, but with small moments of affection that remind her she is cherished. Love is not a force that stays alive on its own. It is nurtured, cultivated, and tended to. Just like a garden and like a neglected garden, if love is not cared for, it wilts. The Buddha teaches us that metta is the foundation of true intimacy. Love is a verb, not a noun. It requires action, presence, and the willingness to see your partner anew each day. If you want to keep the love alive, nurture it. See each other, truly see each other, and never stop choosing love, even when the years have changed you both. 6. The realization that life is short. As people age, they begin to understand that time is precious. They lose friends. They attend more funerals. They reflect deeply on what truly matters. Many women reach a stage where they no longer want to fight for attention or beg for connection. They simply focus on their own peace. They stop arguing. They stop trying to fix what feels irreparable. They learn to accept what is rather than forcing what is not. This shift is not always an active choice. It is, in many cases, an act of self-preservation. And if their husband does not meet them halfway, they detach emotionally and sometimes even physically. But does it have to be this way? The Buddha taught that love is not a passive force. It is a practice, a daily effort. Just as a garden must be tended, a marriage must be nurtured. If both partners are willing to step forward rather than pulling away, love can be revived. How can this change? Choose presence over assumption. Look at your partner and truly see them, not just as the person they once were, but as the person they are becoming. Appreciate the time you still have together, because nothing in this life is guaranteed. Time is fleeting, but love, when cared for, can transcend even the impermanence of life itself. To love is to choose, not just once, but again and again. Love is not about avoiding hardship. It is about meeting challenges together, hand in hand. When nurtured with care, patience, and presence, love does not fade, it deepens. A relationship is like a garden. It requires tending, effort, and attention. Neglect it and it withers, but nurture it with understanding, with compassion, with small, everyday gestures of love, and it will flourish. Time is fleeting. Do not wait until it is too late to appreciate what you have. See each other, listen to each other, value each other, because in the end, the greatest regret is not what we did, but what we left unsaid, unexpressed, untended. Love is not lost with age. It is lost when we stop choosing it. If you take one thing away from this, let it be this. Love is an action, not just a feeling. Cherish it, nurture it, and choose it every single day. Thank you for watching. Take care of your relationships. They are life's greatest treasures.